And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the EVC East Open qualifier. It's myself, Mad Dante Killer, and joining me once again, I'm so happy to be back with the ever lovely Cherry J. How are you doing, Queen?
Yeah, I'm doing good, right? We are here. Big game ahead of us as we got MIRsfit versus the Elite Clan for our semifinals coming up on a Sunday afternoon. Phenomenal game right ahead of us. Mad Dante Killer. I'm so excited. We've seen one of these two teams so far. I believe maybe we've seen both. I know MIRsfit. I believe me both got to watch them, and we got to see some good games coming out, right? Now coming over, right? We get to see them facing off against a strong opponent, that being the Elite Clan, and we're going to see who's going to be able to take it. Now,
Yes.
obviously, me and you, we're familiar with these teams, but as we look towards this map pool, it is going to be a little bit different
Yes,
from
it
what we've
isn't.
seen so far today.
No,
Or
this
not
week.
today, this
I mean,
weekend.
look, it's all a big day. You know how it
Oh,
is. The series becomes one big day. That's
yeah,
how we
yeah.
always treat it here. It has been a big difference. So we'll quickly run through it as we've got it here. So immediately bind going out of the map picks is always an interesting choice. It does mean that teams really are interested about either getting rid of a defensive heavy map or just a map that is reliant on the composition quite a lot. You see a lot like the brims and everything like that. Pearl, not surprised that it gets rid of. A lot of people still aren't too comfortable on Pearl, even with the reworks and such. Haven, I mean, are we all surprised? It's the creme de la creme. It's literally the opening map of this game, essentially, until Ascent probably comes back. Then it'll probably take its spot. Sunset, though, that surprises me, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking too, right? Like the sunset, that was kind of the little like off pick that we really haven't seen a whole lot to this weekend. I was about to say it again
Again.
today.
Today
But
again.
yeah, so sunset, it's a newer thing. We haven't seen it so far this weekend. Haven as well hasn't gotten a whole ton of play time so far, but Split was, right?
Yeah.
Split, that's gonna be our third map, and that's the map that we have seen teams really adopting into very, very often. Now, as we get on into the Agent Select, we can see kind of what these two teams are going in for, and it's similar to what we saw yesterday, where we see that Fitch on the single duelist position. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Elite Clan, we are going to be getting that double duels that we saw yesterday as well. So Uncaged sticking to the Neon. We see Kizzy back on the Yoru. It's a pretty popular composition. Lots of teams like to run. Obviously, if you go back to last year, we like to, or not like to, but we did see a lot of teams kind of prevalent in the idea of, okay, we're going to run that ISO Yoru and try and make combo plays there, utilizing the ultimates of both duelists. But with a Neon, you get a very similar option to what you're going to get with a ISO, as you have a very high potency when it comes to your absolute firepower, when it comes to speed and instantly executing onto site. So whether or not the Elite Clan is going to be able to hold this defense well, that'll be the question. But with how they are positioning themselves over towards the A site, it does seem as if they are going to be very aggressive and proactive down towards A main.
Indeed. And one last thing about the composition, just hopefully this pistol round doesn't go too speedy beforehand. But one last thing is, we seen the Cypher last time we watched Haven last night, Cherry, and it didn't do too great in the end. Both sides now rocking the Killjoy, and we'll see how that works out for them. So far, decently enough for Ara, for Elite Clan. That's a good first. A good second for Ara. Spike's already down on the mid as well, and I mean, I don't want to count the eggs before they're hatched, but that's usually, to be honest, enough to kind of end a round, unless this Viper here gets the flank onto Toronto. Yeah, Maxic, all the way over in that A site, gets that kill essentially for free. That's a big over investment there from Elite Clan, honestly. Like, you've got the spike, you know where people are, facing away from A long is a big oversight, I gotta say.
It's not looking good. MIRsfit's in a 3v4 now. Looking to play the retake, but without the spike in hand, it is going to be difficult. The Sheriff going to be able to instigate the fight, executing onto the site, instantly narrowing the engagement, though. Backing off, still one player close, though. Look towards this Viper, and Maxic going to be able to work for Magic, but there's going to be the trade. Is Watch Me Fall, dropping him in to action. Takes a ghost for their troubles as well.
Nice shot. Nice shooting from Fitch. I said it beforehand. Oh, Kizzy, though. Kizzy wanting to add his name onto it, and that was very close. That shoulder shot, but unfortunately, not enough of a damage difference there. It is a headshot. It's not a shoulder shot. It's not an upper body shot. It is the full amount of damage. So, Fitch, at the end of the day, already got the overdrive up halfway, and an excellent first round for the attacks, attacking their 4 MIRsfits. I will say, maybe got away with murder losing the spike that obviously open in B and still managing to get out, reposition, and then get themselves set back up. But hey, doesn't matter. They got the round. That's all that matters.
Well, this investment, right? 3 sheriffs being bought up for the elite clan could certainly be able to prove fruitful if able to really put out some heroics as the elite clan stacking over towards the C site. Nobody will be ensuing there, and that could possibly lead MIRsfit to be able to have a free site over towards the A, assuming that this Viper is able to make the prediction.
Oh, and so far, Maxic's doing the exact same thing he did last time, and Toronto's not really falling for it, I guess, but he seems very invested about holding this sewer angle, and I mean, look what's happened here. Because of that, this aggressive defense, it's kind of crumbled through. Okay, yes, Toronto, he tries to find it, but I mean, yeah, Sheriff versus a Guardian at that angle, it's not going to be the most opportune fight to take. All of the space here, A site has been fully cleared by Max, and so because of that, I mean, look, last 2 defenders, yeah, they're clearing the attacker side spawn, but I don't really think anyone cares too much about that presence, about that possession anymore. So Albert now playing off the alarm bot, doesn't quite get the kill initially, but again, any frag here could be big for the lockdown getting online.
Yeah, MIRsfit's 2v4 certainly looking nice as they have locations spotted, having the number of both players on the elite clan. HP dropped as well. 1 body shot would be able to put the nail in the coffin. But right now, they are just going to still have to play pretty solid, unable to do too much in order to win this round. And the elite clan, they're just going to back off, right? They want to play towards bomb. Albert's able to pick off their first as Armage down. And now Uncaged will just be dying to the spike. So an investment of 3 sheriffs will be unable to find too much, only securing that single kill. MIRsfit able to find that second round. So it's really looking good for them now as they come into this next one with 3 Guardians online. And that economy is looking amazing. Maxic with 5,500 credits.
No, it absolutely is not. You've got a comfortable position set. You've got everything kind of going for you here. This is down to Elite Clan that require to really hold steadfast, to really make sure that MIRsfits don't just walk on the site again. Or if you get a space, if you get a control, like getting a spike down early on, you do keep that composure. You do keep your head. You focus on the angles that are relevant because, again, like as minor as it is, you know, Toronto getting caught out there on that A long back in the pistol, that player equalizing for free, that's a big deal that you cannot really afford, especially now that we are getting to, you know, best of 3s. We're getting close to the end. This is semi-finals, ladies and gentlemen. You know, one of these teams actually, I believe, is going to be going, is because we're going to be getting a different setup for it. So one of these teams looks likely to be on their way to make their East qualifying regardless. So this is a big deal for both of them. You can't afford those mistakes at this stage. It
really is such a detrimental time if you are having that stress, if you're having that pressure. And as MIRsfit pushes onto the site, able to make the connection, Paranoia out, Kizzy's able to find the first, but it will be instantly traded out as the Sheriff gets its shots connecting to that. Uncaged, not getting seen. The Viper wall can give them a little bit of pressure to be relieved. And now as MIRsfit plays on the site, lots of time ticking down. Paranoia out, still having the TP, could possibly opt in for it. Uncaged clears out all of A main. 1 for 1 as Watch Me Fall drops to their butt knees. It's going out. Finch, 20 HP, looking to get it done, able to do exactly that for the quadra kill, and they bring the bonus down.
I mean, that's Fitch. We mentioned, we did mention the fact of the matter that Fitch was an incredible member for MIRsfit last time we watched him. You know, yesterday, absolutely incredible stuff. I think, like 24-7, I want to say the kill death was, at least pretty close to that. Fitch was doing an absolute runner for MIRsfit to keep them going, even whenever some of the other team members weren't doing, you know, the best. They were struggling a little bit. By the end, don't get me wrong, we did see a lot of that team really come to life. We've seen Haint, we've seen Albert do a lot, and Maxic's already done a decent bit of work. So a lot a lot more even work being distributed among the roster, but when you're looking at the 8-0 Neon, it's pretty clear how that's working out. And because of the fact MIRsfits have been able to take what should have been Elite Clan's round, this is already looking a bit shaky for them.
We'll have to see how it does too, but right now, it's a big push over towards Garage. The wall bang, able to connect, fishing for shots, able to land right on the hook. And now Fitch trying to get another, but the blind side comes online. A double kill, triple kill for the Elite Clan. And they drop them all down. MIRsfit's not done yet. Albert looking to relieve the pressure, find the man disadvantage to be neutralized. And Haint over onto the site, possibly overzealous, finds the timing, sees the first, but they don't have the prediction, a little bit tunnel vision, as MIRsfit's going to be dropping down. Haint offline, Albert the last remains. Toronto gonna have the shot, but Armitage gets it first. Albert falls, and the Thrifty comes out for the
the one little kind of spot for the Sova dart as Albert realized he had been scanned and realized he was not long left for this world. A tragedy hits him, but certainly a tragedy for MIRsfits to lose that round. Cherry, I don't know if it's just me and you. Maybe it's been happening with other casters and stuff. Maybe it happened yesterday. I wasn't able to watch. But we seem to be seeing a lot of Thrifties. We seem to be seeing a lot of rounds that shouldn't really be able to get converted. And whether it is just better placement, all of a sudden, better positioning, good crossfires and refrags, we're seeing Sheriffs actually be a lot for a lot of these teams rather than, you know, the full buys, the Vandals, the Phantoms, whether it makes them play a little bit differently, whether it just kind of gets the mental a bit different, seems to be working out for them. And speaking of getting the mental different, speaking of playing differently, Fitch runs in but gets just cut down.
Yeah, it's looking good. If you're on the MIRsfits roster, it's definitely tragic. An Elite Clan will completely dominate the battlefield on the C site, bringing it all down to a close. As now MIRsfits, the lead they've mounted already, all but dismantled.
And now they have to work out, can they get their foot fully, their feet planted? Now they have managed to tentatively kind of get a couple, you know, fingers grasped into this mountain that needs to be climbed. Can they now take their first real step up and get themselves back up and equalized? Ultimate's starting to come online. And a big thing that Elite Clan have with their composition here that I want to be seeing a little bit more. First of all, super aggressive defense on that A side. 4 members being committed. They want to be playing around these all orbs. They want to be getting all the position uncaged. Finds a member without any sort of ability to protect themselves. The Hunter's Fury off the back of it, actually. That's a lot invested and no frags just yet. In fact, the first one goes to Hean over on that C site. And with that information that MIRsfits have found out just from how proactive Elite Clan were taking that engagement on A, they know they have the space to take C, and they have capitalized beautifully.
TP comes in off the paranoia, but the Owl Drone will detect the presence. The Snakebite comes in, looking to deal the damage, but it will be Watch Me Fall, delivering it. It's Hank to get the shock dart with the trade, but a 2v3 still does ensue. Albert looking to close the door, and doing exactly that as they take the Sheriff, put it in the skulls of the Elite Clan, and now in a 1v3, uncaged, looking for an exit pick, able to find one, but after that, they're just going to look to concede any aggression. Never mind, go straight on back, able to get called out by the Sova, but it will still be a dart to just give them a little bit of information. Uncaged, pushing right on up, just to fall to their doom. The rifle gets converted.
The rifle gets converted and the AWP is saved. That's a big fight for Haint to win. Minus 2,900 for Elite Clan, plus 4,700 for MIRsfits, if you want to look at it in terms of just what those guns cost. And okay, Kizzy now pulling out the AWP, though. He doesn't want to, you know, he doesn't want to be deterred. Sometimes you try something once, it doesn't work. That doesn't mean it's not going to work again. It doesn't mean the first time wasn't just a bit unfortunate. And I like that attitude. So seeing the operator still online here, really, really cool. Getting Fitch on the aggro operator, for anyone that hasn't seen this roster, something that happens a bit more often than you would maybe think. We have seen him kind of post up on that angle and then swap out to a Vandal to do your typical Neon things of dashing onto a site. And hey, 1 versus 1 for the AWP. Kizzy taking it, though. That's a big first frag.
Shot's able to be connected. Putting out the duelist. Now MIRsfits needs to have an entry without that real explosive firepower. That'll be the question on how they're able to make that happen. Uncaged still holding up in C Garage, possibly to be taking an engagement, but with the MIRsfit's roster seeming to like to fight towards the side, this could really cause a bit of a detriment, right? This is not an easy thing. It seems as if the Elite Clan has started their prediction to be working. Now as the gate crash will be no more available, now the Yoru needs to be able to make their way on to easy rotate. Without that, that's a difficult thing to happen, as you'd imagine the Elite Clan will like to play a retake in some capacities. They have that dimensional drift, they have that lockdown, both phenomenal tools to be able to play retake. So we could see Kizzy try and find the kill and instantly diverge out of the site. Now, whether or not they're going to be able to do that without any gate crashes available, that will be the question. But with no flashes, it will all be up to the start to make the connection. It doesn't. Kizzy should have something with this angle, but the shot misses. Can't be letting that happen. Hanks gets the kill, goes crazy, as now both teams dropping lockdown. The Hunter's Fury will be coming out to try and make something happen. Armiges comes in, able to get the trade. Both lockdowns ensue, and Elite Clan completely folded.
Yeah, it's a big deal, especially you've got that Hunter's Fury to combat the opposing lockdown, which is exactly what's happened there. You don't have to worry about it. The overdrive now needing to get popped. The relay bolt, Belief does actually tag onto Albert there, so for the moment, at least it's 1 versus 1. Haint has landed these shots before he does, and actually while that engagement's happening, Albert watches him fall, and the back and forths here are coming through, but this is really what it comes down to. Yes, the mechanics at the end of the day, if they're good, you're going to be golden, but the ultimate usage, you know, the Hunter's Fury destroying the lockdown, allowing MIRsfits to kind of keep that aggression going and keep that position exactly where they wanted and not playing around Elite Clan's game, that's a big deal. As you mentioned, actually, Cherry, as well, it's a very difficult op shot to hit if you're panicking, because Kizzy can only see, I believe, just the head onto Maxic, but you can't afford to miss those shots. You can't afford to do anything other than get those frags at that start if you want to have a chance of going to the East qualification.
And MIRsfits, look at this play from the Elite Clan. Can they make a prediction? You'd imagine that after the alarm bot, they should have some idea, but only one player shot it. 1 for 1 comes out as the Elite Clan, dropping bodies, uncaged, Armiges, both going in. The Sheriff is looking nice. There's the flash coming on overboard, but Haint is still going to be able to survive after Fish takes the shots for him. And now it's a 3v3. Can MIRsfits be able to keep this lead alive? That'll be the question. Maxic able to find the prediction or hear the cues, but it still will be watch me fall to find the opener.
Viper's Pit now being popped. I was about to say there was no Viper's Pit popped, but hush my mouth, I guess. As now we fight for it. It's a 1 versus 2, but Maxic has the advantage with the spray. Despite only 2 HP in a dream, it's very much going to be that dream come true. A Thrifty, a Viper's Pit expanded from your opponents. That's a big amount of utility used, a big amount forced out there. You're very happy if you're the Elite Clan. It's just want to see this consistency. We want to see them break through this mold after that. They're showing that they can kind of go toe-to-toe versus the MIRsfits. They just need to keep it consistent.
We'll see how they are going to be able to adopt after that, but as of now, MIRsfit is just playing with fire. As Elite Kizzy having this op online, looking to play this aggressive, will the MIRsfits roster be able to shut this down? With a gate crash, able to be out of position. We'll see how Kizzy does end up playing this, but the Viper's Wall, so many options, don't matter, takes the first. A little bit too overzealous with having to use the gate crash, will not be able to get it off in time, as MIRsfits takes the kills and transmits the operator over to them. Able to dodge out on the relay bullets, but prediction, Fitch will drop as the Elite Clan takes the equalizer.
That's a hell of a shot there. That was a beautiful, beautiful shot. Can't really say it much more, but watch me fall. Again, this overzealousness, this kind of distraction, uncaged at least there, to be able to fight it back. And now the information has been gathered. Yes, this C site is clear. The bomb is getting planted. And while unfortunately you do lose your Sova in the form of Haint, he's bought enough time. Oh, and he can hear the double footsteps. Albert's positioning here. He knows that the double rotate is coming through. A very deep hideaway from from the Omen, of course, but at least it is working out. The steps come through. The gun barrel is spotted. Albert doesn't pull the trigger immediately, and that might have been enough to keep him alive. The alarm bot gets placed, and now it doesn't actually matter here if Albert loses this fight. He has killed so much time and uncaged to boot, but Albert being such a thorn there, even if that gunfight didn't go his way, you have to get on the site, you have to fight the Omen on that C-long, and then you still have to get time to defuse the bomb. So very, very nicely played.
And that just goes to show, right? This is what the Elite Clan is having to deal with. The over-rotations that they're committing to is causing a massive just undertaking for Albert to be able to completely swamp the B site, completely make you utilize all of your time into exclusively flushing them out. And after they found the first, you weren't able to find anything after that, and just kind of allowed MIRsfit to be able to just completely dominate on the B site over towards C-Link. That was just such a good play, despite having your operator shut down from a phenomenal play from Adjaz, the Killjoy over on the Elite Clan. And after that, it just looked good. MIRsfit, now they're coming in with an aggressive stance over towards B. Will be the Elite Clan falling back after getting spotted out. MIRsfit not going to lose any HP for that undertaking. A little bit of utility needed, but still it is just fine, right? We are going to be seeing now the Elite Clan absolutely having this ideology that there's an A hit coming ensuing. Unfortunately, it seems to be a wrong idea, but it will at least be allowing them to play complete retake with this dimensional drift on such a small site like what B site offers. You will be able to completely overtake them with utility if you have all that information that the Yoru provides.
You will indeed, as now the execute comes through, but the economy here is a big factor for Elite Clan. I typically say that B-site actually favors the lower buy, like your Spectres and your Stingers, just because the guns are high fire rate and very easy to kind of spray down at those angles. But look at Kizzy, he's relying on that classic. If he's going to be doing dimensional drift to get information, it's unlikely he's going to be able to get any frags. The shock darts, though, are very good. You mentioned the utility. It's coming through in spades right now, Cherry. Everyone's throwing everything at each other. The smoke is good for a second, but Maxic's able to find Kizzy through it, just even with that classic, and because of that, it's 4 for 1 for MIRsfit so far. Can they make it the fifth? Uncaged, the last man standing, 100 HP, and nothing else really to work with. The steps are there, he can't find anything. He does, unfortunately, fall. A B-site execute against a lower economy, played, I would say, to near perfection.
And that's the issue, right? When you have all 5 players looking to flush in from A-Link and C-Link, it gives the MIRsfit roster the opportunity to completely diverge out of B-site over towards main, play post-play, and when they have the mollies, like the Nanoswarm, like the Snakebite, it just gives them so much opportunity to be able to take you off the spike. Whether or not you stick that will be up to you, but the smokes are so easy to spray through that it just gave MIRsfit this opportunity to completely go unpunished, and Elite Clan just had no real way of stopping them. Now the economy is going to be available for the Elite Clan to try and get something done. 2 ultimates still remain. They didn't use the dimensional drift in the previous round. It kept staying alive, so we'll see how that does end up working for them, but as of now, MIRsfit's certainly at the upper foot.
Does look, I mean, yeah, the scoreline kind of says it themselves. It will be a big, big deal for it. So we'll see how this timeout impacts Elite Clan. We'll see if they're able to kind of just build themselves back up, because they're not losing massively. Like, yes, okay, a 3-7 scoreline, especially on defense on Haven, it's not great, but it has been fairly close. The setups have been there, but it is just kind of one big mistake, whether it is a little bit of attention maybe not being full there, maybe the focus being a bit lost. Details like that are what's really seeming to hurt Elite Clan right now. MIRsfits, we've seen them previously. They don't seem to play with doubts. They don't seem to play with concern. If their initial strategy doesn't work, they do pull back, reconvene, and reset. And it doesn't take them long to be comfortable enough to try and take another fight. That, though, that's just 2 mechanical aim duels. No utility, nothing to back them up. A third one at that as well. And already been stolen away. Fitz trying to as aggressively push up as he can. A bit overzealous to be polite about it, but Toronto's already the last man standing. The spike's already down. He's got really nothing to work with as the drone finds him as well. This is just waiting to die.
Yeah, MIRsfit will be able to find their 8th round on the map. Now, this has been a stellar start from them, and the question now becomes, will they be able to keep the same level of aggression up into the second half? You'd imagine with the way that this composition will run, the answer should be yes. They have phenomenal opportunity to play retake, phenomenal opportunity in order to be able to hold down sites with that double controller, make sure that a lot of utility will be expended from the elite clan in order to get onto the site. Now, this last round, there's still the opportunity to get something done, right? The elite clan, they have a lot of utility in order to be able to play the retake still. They haven't been too invested into that dimensional drift. We do see the first jungle coming and out, but it will be instantly traded as Watch Me Fall takes one with the Guardian. It instantly gets removed as there's going to be the ulti coming in from Fitch, who's just completely destroying the battlefield right up, tearing it all down. And now Elite Clan in the 3v4 ultimates have been dismembered. Still 2 left, but MIRsfit, having such a good position over towards C, could possibly look to divot, not before they find their second onto Toronto.
These aim chills, it's very clear right now that MIRsfit are mechanically so comfortable, are so happy to take these engagements versus Elite Clan, you know, that you can't really afford to be taking fights fairly. You need to be getting value out of your utility. You need to be really working with each other, get each other set up. And I love the use of the From the Shadows there. It doesn't actually get the Omen onto the site immediately, but look at the paranoia here. You look at how quickly that the last 2 members of Elite Clan in Toronto and Kizzy, they turn around. They kind of are a little bit, not Toronto, sorry, RM. And they're kind of concerned now. They don't know what's happening right now. Yes, of course they do now. But look at the timing there. For anyone that missed it, a tiny play. Albert gets the ult orb before the plant goes down to counter the Killjoy lockdown with one of their own. And it makes this retake not impossible, but pretty damn close. A paranoia, though, certainly is going to add to it. Sacrificing yourself to get to T. And yes, that's a bit risky, but Kizzy falls. There's not enough time with this playstyle unless RMA just runs it down.
RMA looking to get something done, but they don't see the angle, and from Graffiti, MIRsfit dropped their half. 9-3, you can't make this up. So it's such a good play. They see the lockdown at 6 seconds left. They drop one of their own. As soon as the lockdown is about to hit them, they put in the paranoia. That gives Albert a little bit of Armige's a little bit of paranoia of their own, saying, okay, I need to back out. I don't have time to break their lockdown. And they did exactly that. They were able to get out of the fray. They were able to get out of the space. But when you are in your spawn, the time that detain deploys is not nearly enough to be able to get those kills. And after that, it was just a 2v1 on site. The time had been ticked. MIRsfit had their positioning set up. They were able to stage exactly where they wanted to be, and Elite Clan had no way of being able to stop them. Now, as we go on to the second half, we are going to be seeing a bit of a 4-1 split with the Killjoy of Armistice going over towards C Garage. We'll see whether or not they're able to find much, but as MIRsfit's already deploys 3 players towards mid, they could easily flush them out.
But look at that lurk. There is still a lurk from the Elite Clan there. You're getting your Killjoy lockdown. At the very least, you're getting that control still through. So Armage could find something massive here. Instead, he just finds 3 people ready to gun him down. The information, though, has been granted. That should be enough, depending on the visual there, to kind of say that, yes, there's no one on the A side, but look at how fast the rotate is. Fitch is already on to the A site heaven because of it, and he just keeps plugging heads with the Sheriff. He finally, at least one member goes down, but it's still he ain't fighting it out here. Through the smoke, is the barrel going to be found? No, but Toronto has to swing and get 4 somehow. It's just a touch too far, an order too tall. And this, again, with the rotates that you mentioned earlier, Cherry, with how fast the MIR can get themselves back onto site after getting themselves some, like, opening aggression, I think we've just seen that done surgically.
Go, go, go.
And MIRsfit is looking amazing right now. However, it isn't the end of the world, right? Like, if you're Elite Clan, you still do have a couple more maps, and the only unfortunate part of that is that this was, in fact, their map pick. They were the ones to pick up Haven, and the fact that that happened is a little bit disappointing. Now, they are completely investing into this. They're saying A is our site. Now, honestly, I do disagree with this play a little bit. I think that it would be better if you're going to heavily invest within these stingers, that maybe you should try and opt in for the B site, right? Maybe you're going to be saying to yourself, well, MIRsfit is going to predict that, but it's not necessarily the end of the world as they do, as you have stingers, and those shoot very, very well. But the relay bolt picks up one, looking for the second, unable to make it connect. They go back over. And it seems as if Elite Clan might have the opportunity to get something done as Kizzy drops another kill.
The nade comes down to try and block Toronto from getting the stick. Doesn't care. Tanks through it. Is happy to walk away with a little bit less HP. Gets that spike down. And of course gets the timer ticking for MIRsfit to try and get this retake. There's a little bit of paranoia there. You can see the Omen still looking towards the B site. Maybe concerned that there is a lurk. Of course we know there is nothing of the sort. It's the first frag though, it goes to Max. Like the paranoia timing's excellent. Albert with a very wide swing. It means he can't get covered as much by that crossfire. Kizzy goes down because of it. Maxic now sees where Aura is, and he's happy enough with that swing. He sees the angle, he knows the timing, he just does a very quick swing, gets the headshot because of it, manages to convert their bonus, but it was, or their second round, sorry, but it was a fairly close call to do that.
Elite Clan dropping the ball when it was necessary to get it done. They were able to make it work too. They were in a 3v4 in their favor as Kizzy took that man advantage. Unfortunately, they just could not convert it to their favor in the end as it lost all the momentum. As now the Elite Clan having to win this round, but with such a low buy, it becomes so much more detrimental. Guardians, Stingers, both in the works, but it's so much necessary heroics. As we already see the killjoy of Actress taken to a crisp. As they've fallen so far, and now as Uncaged will be able to follow up on this recon dart. They're already on the site, but the paranoia comes out. Shot goes in, shot goes down. Double kill from the Omen. As now MIRsfit in a 3v5, how much could they lose? How much could they fall? Will be Armjez looking to get the trade and able to do exactly that. Collecting another, though, it is Magic, who's getting Toronto down. Fitch down for another. Wow. Mad Dante killer.
Yeah.
Are we just calling this game?
Look, we did that last time, and then we were here for another like 5 or 6 rounds.
True.
Cherry, do you want to play that game again? Do you want to risk playing that game again? Am I saying it's pretty likely we've got the outcome? Absolutely, but crazier things have happened. This is not to do with this set, but I have once casted a game that went that the round differential was 12-2, and it ended 17-15 for the guys that were on 2. So do I think that's going to happen right now? I'm not going to lie to you. No. But I didn't think it was going to happen then either. And Valorant has shown us time and time again that at the most pivotal moments, at moments where it does seem like it is nigh impossible, if the players are ready, if they play a bit risky, okay, if Maxic can't land the shots like that, that's maybe a start as well. A good opening frag, that is the Viper down, but I think it's always important in Valorant, any tactical shooter, any game like this, that it's not over until it's over, especially if Toronto is finally able to take out a duel with his namesake, with his counterpart on that A site, get decent control of it. Yes, he falls, but now the Elite Clan know exactly where Omen is, and he will be punished.
I mean, yesterday was crazy. We saw like a very dominant 13-6, and then like right after that, they went on to their own map pick. And like looked like they were gonna lose for a little bit.
Yeah.
13-11 at the end. So yeah, I mean, map pick doesn't really matter too much at this point. And Elite Clan, maybe they'll be able to do exactly that, right? Take it back. We'll see whether or not this round will go their way. Fitch seeming as if they may perhaps opt in for an engagement, look to shatter the eco a little bit of the Elite Clan. But right now, they're just going to be fishing for shots. Utility comes in, dropping down, unable to get the connection. Kizzy drops them, and that will be the kill. And Albert does seem to just be waiting for a bit of an exit pick, and with a lot of players looking to go down towards short, Albert will get the audio cues and perhaps be able to make a kill go their way. Dropping in, shots go in, not able to make the connection. Kizzy gets a double kill to close out for the Elite Clan's 4th round.
Bit of a shame, but nothing really lost. At this point now, MIR have 7 rounds just to play with their economy, play with their utility, you know, get everything. In theory, and I'm not saying this is a good idea, but if you look at the ult differential here right now, the lowest amount of ult charge that a player currently has is Albert at 4 and 9. So still needing 5 ults to get the lockdown. But at worst, with no ult orbs gained, with no frags, and somehow if Albert only just dies, like he goes to 12 to 15, he would have the lockdown ready to go. We do apologize for that little bit of a hiccup with the feed. Hopefully it'll be back as soon as possible, or we may just return to tell you that map 1 is done and the round differential for that. We will just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will just have to wait and see what does inevitably happen, as you said. And yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. Obviously, these two teams, you mentioned it before we really got into this game, but the winner of this, very, very likely to be the team to go on and take that championship, right? They're the ones, these two teams are somewhat favorites for this game, and we'll see whether or not that will be the case. Obviously, on the other side of the bracket, there is still semifinals game going on, but it does seem as if we have our champion in game number 1. So that is going to go. And Mad Dante Killer, if you want to try and be the one to really give that praise, I'll let you have that.
Yes, I mean, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't get it, but MIRsfit did manage to just finish it up there. I think we did cut to the victory screen just for a second. So the game is done. The news is out. I believe that does actually mean that, now, someone can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but that puts Mirs in the grand finals. They have punched their ticket. They are now, or sorry, no, it's not. It's best of 3. I'm lying to you. We're only map 1 in. But if they're able to do a second one, if they're able to take Sunset, then they have punched their ticket in for the grand finals. Then they have managed to get themselves going. So very nicely done for them. And a first opener map as comfortable as that, if you're the elite clan, you've got to be maybe a little bit concerned. Yeah.
Side note that it could definitely, or like a curveball, it could be a very, very detrimental position for the elite clan. So we are going to go to a quick little break. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back right after this. Don't go anywhere, for game number 2 is happening real quick. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are returned once more. My name is Cherry J, joined by the one, the only, the handsome, the incredible, the spectacular, the superb,
Stop!
the
Stop! We're done!
phenomenal
No,
Mad
too many. I can
Dante
only handle like
Killer.
3 compliments a day or I explode. Stop it.
Oh,
Stop it.
that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, I think
he might
I think we might
explode
need to
now.
get a replacement caster for me here. But ladies and gentlemen, for the moment, I'll try and hold in all the love. Thank you, Cherry, of course, for it. But we are currently in the midst of the best of 3 right now. It is Elite Clan, and of course, it is MIRsfits. MIRsfits have now just taken their map pick on Haven fairly decisively. Let's politely say that. We're not going to waste too much time. We're already going to get into this. It's Sunset. It's their map pick here, and it does get them into the grand finals, which I do believe this map, if it's a win for MIRsfit, guarantees them a spot, one of those 2 open qualifier slots.
We'll have to wait and see what does inevitably end up happening. But as of now, we are going to be really looking towards this Yoru and Neon. We saw this last game from Uncaged and Kizzy. They were phenomenal players, but in their own right, they were unable to make this game go the distance. Armage's swapping over from the Killjoy over to the Cypher, possibly a more comfort-based pick. We'll see how that is going to inevitably be able to perform. And on the other side, a couple of differences. We see the Omen from this roster going on to maybe even take a little bit of a gander over towards what seems to be a new idea, taking this up with a breach as they lock it in. It's interesting, right? MIRsfit, they're taking a couple roles and switching it up. We saw
Maxic.
Maxic taking swapping over from a Viper position and going over towards the Sentinel, now going towards a Omen. Fitch as well, going to be sticking towards the duelist position. Makes a lot of sense. Albert going to do the exact same thing as what Armage is doing, going from that Killjoy over towards the Cypher. And yeah, besides that, no real changes. Very good compositions on either side. You'd imagine it really is still the same thing as Haven, right? Dante, it's very double duelist ideology versus that double initiator, and we will have to wait and see which one will prove out in the end.
We will indeed. It's a big thing to point out. Running double duelist, you do forego that, as you said, that second initiator you have to forget about, but that second initiator is can be either the Sova or the Breach. You know, they additional piece of utility to clear out the Cypher utility can be very, very important. The reason, if anyone's curious as to why Killjoy has been forgone, Cypher's trips and cams, particularly on the B site, there's a couple really dirty ones towards A, don't get me wrong, but there's a reason Cypher's setup has been so tried and true on this map for as long as it has been, is because of its strength. And sacrificing an initiator to try and get the a second duelist in doesn't mean you can use things like the Yoru clone. You can kind of gate crash out if you do get hit by the Cypher cam, but you still have to deal with it. Opting for that kind of single initiator to kind of cover your back is going to be a big deal. Speaking of a big deal, it's a big interact, it's a big push towards the A site, it's a big rotate to match up. We'll see how this goes as the guns already start to fly.
And we are getting Uncaged, opening it up. Neon comes on out as the Elite Clan starts us off with a banger, but it will not be that for long as MIRsfit drops them down. Elite Clan put into a 1v4 position as it's all MIRsfit taking them through the ringer.
Plant down as well, given to the Sova, get that Hunter's Fury online. It's a nice shot from Aram, but again, he's only going to find his one. Haint returns the favor, and I mean, a pretty typical pistol round from what we've seen from MIRsfit there. I liked the Elite Clan. There was no hesitation to get the rotate going. There was no concerns there. They knew that it was going to be an A push. I like that. It was just that getting that retake is difficult. Getting that retake whenever you do have to rely on your Yoru, who maybe doesn't have the gate crash, who's maybe used their clone to get a bit more information already. We're seeing that already pan out. And again, it's only round one.
That's already MIRsfit putting up a great performance. As we look towards this breach concuss line, right, it will be able to drop a lot of players' HP, as we do see the Sova Elite Clan taking to a little bit of a rough spot. Now, as we look towards Watch Me Fall, they're able to connect onto one, shutting down Albert, but that's not all they're going to get, as Fitz goes, retrieves it, takes the kill for themselves. It's now it's a 4v4 situation. Elite Clan still already overcommitting the rotation, but now they are going to be able to diverge back towards the B site. MIRsfit looking to try and pull rotations as well as they break the door over towards the B site. Now that does leave in a bit of a 2v2 situation, but the Neon pushed over Elite Clan, going to be able to find one. Uncaged gets a bit of information showing that there is a couple of MIRsfit players still waiting onto the A site, but they are instantly taken aback. As they convert that Sheriff, that does give a little bit more firepower, assume MIRsfit wins this round and they will be able to give it to a teammate. But the Sova of Toronto already going for the flank. Right now, that might be a little bit lackluster, as the site has already been taken, but if they're able to get this fast, it could be good, maybe not, as it will be Maxic to take the kill.
Follow up there, but this is a good thing about having kind of a lurk flank like that, is sometimes it's not expected for the second one. Maxic does have the belief, he does have the knowledge, but still falls, and because of that now a Bulldog has been upgraded. This very usual kind of one lower, upper lower hold. As soon as it would have been relevant, it does get split apart, but Fitch doesn't really care. We've seen him land those shots. We've seen how crisp this man's mechanics can be, and I mean, again, Neon is a tough character to play if you don't have that aim. You really need to be crisp. You need to have confidence in your actions, and you need to be a decisive player. I do not lie when I say, in my opinion, Yoru and Neon are the two highest skill ceiling agents in the game by quite a large margin.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong, and certainly could be that way. I mean, I think Neon definitely has a lot of options regarding how you're going to be able to play, but right now, we are just going to be seeing that mid hit coming on in, able to connect a couple shots, taking the Cypher, converting space to yourself. A concuss line does come out, but as Armitage pulls it forward, a 1v2, Kizzy with the follow-up, it's all but over. As the Elite Clan puts up a masterclass performance within mid, able to shut down all 4 players, converting it all after the Cypher takes a bit of damage. Albert tries to make something happen, able to drop the Spectre, converting a rifle. Who needs the Spectre? You got the Vandal. The Paranoia comes in, unable to make the connection. The cam gets active, not able to spot anybody. Still 2 players looking to make this miracle happen. Will they be able to get it done? The conversion does seem to be here. Rotations get pulled. Now MIRsfit, they don't have the information that they're out, but they do know nobody's on site. This could lead to the spike going down. That's 200 credits for everyone on the team, but MIRsfit, it's still not over.
No, it is not, but it's a pivotal frag. Albert even looking down as well. I believe Cypher's hat can actually be spotted there. It's like Sage's ponytail. So the information there, of course, you know, the members are all the way over on the other side of the map, so there is now a rotate needing to happen. The tripwire to cover market. Albert 45 HP, but that tripwire could do enough here, especially with the cam to back it up. He could play these angles incredibly patiently. Oh, he's making me nervous with how much he's uncamming and camming, because of course it does make noise. Maybe he is just wanting to distract his opponents by doing as such. We'll see how he plays around the placement here. Gets the click. Of course, there's no information here. Albert manages to get right behind watching me fall, but even watching me fall believes there's something up, something amiss. Happy to jump off the spike, get the frag, and then continue the defuse as standard. A very nice play from Elite Clan, and a nearly mega close clutch from the side of Albert.
Yeah, I like the positioning a lot, right? Playing behind the box, it gives you that opportunity to be able to watch CT while also having the camera, which is going to be able to pick up on anything coming from mid. Now, the issue with that, you're not able to play off of the tripwire that was set up towards B-Link. That causes a bit of a unreal problem that was the Elite Clan had to deal with, right? They were able to instantly break it and nobody was contesting, and that just allowed this Spike to kind of go for the defuse easily. Now, this round will have to be different if you want to keep it up. They go with a couple ultimates. The neural theft could be really nice, but it will not matter. MIRsfit goes for an instant agitated push. Albert's able to find the first, and now as MIRsfit pushes out, it is going to be Elite Kizzy already off the board as they go for the blind side. Albert will not be able to convert anything, and in this 3v4 situation, likely the Elite Clan is going to have to flush out everyone from main.
Yeah, you're going to have to deal with a lot here. There's no flank either. Of course, Albert doesn't know that, so he is going back just to check. But yeah, flush everyone out here from this site. It's very much a split set of angles from it. He in that corner, yeah, he gets a frag. The information now, of course, is position known, but he still has to get cleared, and there is that opening crossfire. And the spike, of course, still ticking down as the rest of this happens, and it's already pretty low down. And with Watch Me Fall, unfortunately fallen, I believe that is going to be it. Yes, it's a good frag from Uncaged. He's using the fast lane, it looks like, just to get out. Albert, though, I really love the change there. He somehow doesn't get that Uncaged. Very clean movement. Has to be refragged by Hien, but I like that he realized he wasn't getting flanked and then repositioned himself to try and prevent any sort of exits getting away. I think that's, again, very pivotal showcase of just how comfortable MIRsfits are in their decisions when they know when to flank, they know when they're safe, they know when to kind of trust each other, and they know when everyone needs to be backing each other up to do the crossfire. So again, very surgical stuff from them at this point.
We'll have to wait and see how that does progress, as there's still going to be the MIRsfit roster pushing down very, very fast. They've been executing extremely proficient with Vault Line, will be able to connect onto Fitch, but it is still going to be a little bit of an awkward situation. Definitely precarious, but they do still push out the dark cover, able to isolate the Omen. However, Toronto is still able to pick off Fitch with the overdrive in hand. It's a nice pick to be able to limit the firepower. Haynes gets the first, going to be the second one coming in from the breach of the MIRsfit's roster. Uncaged will be able to put forth another, but the flash is really, really good. MIRsfit's going to be able to drop in an ult, looking to invest, gambling this round, but as they connect onto Armages, they will just kind of bide their time, wait in, see whether or not the prediction does look good. Armages, Sheriff in hand, gonna have to deal with the mobility, with the height differential. The high-low does get destroyed as Maxic drops to the floor. Armages fishing for a shot, 5 volts in the chamber, connects one, the second unfound, as Albert connects it for the kill.
It's just very clinical. I mean, Elite Clan there played that well in theory. They used the Yoru clone to try and get the flash. They slid in with overdrive behind it, you know, to get to play off of that flash. But even still, MIRsfits are so confident with their mechanics. They're able to turn these flashes. They're able to turn it back. I want to go, I think it was 2 rounds ago on that B site, there was an encounter between Kizzy and Fitch. Kizzy flashes out, uses the blindside out of Boba to try and just take a 1 versus 1. And Fitch was so confident in being able to just swing the flash, swing back, and take the frag that once you get to these levels, this state of Valorant, even flashing and swinging isn't sometimes all the best you can work with. And the Rolling Thunder now to come through, give all the control towards A. Albert does just fall because of it, but immediately a clean 2 kills answered solidly back without much hesitation. A third added onto the board with the use of the breach utility. The flank from Uncaged is going to have to be massive, as Iron Mage hopefully can just cause a distraction.
So 2v3 situations, Elite Clan needing this round to be able to stop the snowball that has been mounted in MIRsfits. Going to be still on site, not really adopting any aggressive, proactive plays, just kind of trying to be that iron wall. But it's 1, 2, Armages drops some. Maxic finds the first, looking to get something done. The tap comes out, going to be going for the TP, able to commit it. Do they think it's a fake? Armages gambling the idea, but it will not matter. The backwards TP, Armages gets a triple kill and brings this round back.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Cage triggered.
Very clean. An insane work from Aramesh. We asked about it. We did say, you know, there was going to need to be something done from that flank, and okay, Aramesh is able to back himself up off of it, play off of the that hold perfectly, and Mirs, kind of a bit of an uncharacteristic crumble, but I'm sure Elite Clan more than happy to work with it. They've got the rounds up now. They've got the ult economy as well, very solidly in their place. I'd love to just see them just play this patiently, play for the utility, play for the abilities that they have, and try not to give any unnecessary initial engagements, because being polite but being realistic, they're not able to take them consistently.
Nice, as it is going to be the Elite Clan coming in for the comeback after Armor just put up a masterclass performance. Uncaged will fall as Fitch sliding in, takes the kill, Guardian in hand, absolutely dominating the battlefield. So Elite Clan now going to be looking to try and be more defensive over towards the B side, covering for their fallen player. As Uncaged drops, they need to do something, and I like this idea from them a lot. They're going to be proactive, looking to try and make space down B main. On the opposite side, they leave their Yoru over there with the Sova covering top mid. They're going to hear these audio cues and start to press forward. As we look towards Toronto, they instantly realize this is a bad idea. I can't be contesting this. I need to stay alive, or else this does become a 3v5. And then the pressure does start to mount. They look to go for the opposite side, trying to get a contest, maybe trying to get a pick off. But as Toronto walks forward, it does seem like this flank could work. On the opposite side, we do see an Omen who is trying to get something done, but it's a misread from Toronto, as now they're leaving their Yoru Kizzy all alone. The audio cues are given. The site has been overwhelmed, as now MIRsfits instantly takes it. Toronto with the work is going to be able to dismount it, as now MIRsfits in a 4v3. We've seen this type of situation before, and it was all up to the Cypher to get it all done. Will Elite Clan be able to do that again? That'll be the question.
It'd be nicer if it was a bit more than just Armage, but if Armage is the one to do it, then Armage is the one to do it. Quick trade, 1-for-1, no issues there. MIRsfit's more than happy, still gives them the numbers advantage, still means they don't have to play without a concern. Spike's going to get tapped, Hunter's Fury doesn't look like it's going to be used now. Just a quick relay bolt, swing out of the smoke, deal with it perfectly. A little credit to Toronto there, though. Whenever the Spike did go down, along with Kizzy, he still managed to get the kill onto Maxic, which is very difficult. Usually if the Spike goes down on A site, you want to, your natural instinct, pull out the knife, try and rotate as quick as possible, back up with your team. That wasn't the case, and he did have that presence of mind, that awareness that someone may have been lurking, especially, I mean, every compass point, north, east, south, and west was being covered by Elite Clan by the end there. One at each of the kind of 4 pivotal marks, one in attacker spawn, one in defender spawn, 1B, and 1 in A. But it did mean that MIRsfit's grouped up attack, it really worked out for them, and I can imagine that the timeout from Elite Clan here is going to be regarding those positional kind of discrepancies.
I mean, as we see the timeout can take in Elite Clan, looking to try and just find any way to be able to get back into this game. And 2-5, it's certainly not unwinnable. You still got a lot of Valorant left to be played. We're only halfway through the first half of the game, and 5 rounds, it's a decent bit, right? There's a 3-round deficit between you two, but it definitely is not the most insurmountable thing, right? This round will likely not go the way of Elite Clan. This is going to be only 3 sheriffs looking to be bought up. That does not really imply that there is impossibilities. They could still win this. They could still take this. They have a lot of ultimates that could possibly be able to throw MIRsfit for a loop, and if they're able to make that happen, it certainly could be a massive undertaking, right? You get Kizzy with Toronto both trying to drop the Hunter's Fury in, maybe trying to like body block somebody. You could easily be able to convert maybe a Hunter's Fury kill and maybe get that rifle as well. But we will have to wait and see what MIRsfit will end up trying to adopt into. They play a lot slower than what we've seen so far, and Watch Me Fall might just get punished for it as they drop down to 74 HP, unable to collect the headshot, as now they do concede the space, look to back up over towards top mid. There is still going to be the Cypher holding, but it's Watch Me Fall to drop the first kill as Albert gets eliminated.
Instead, we watch him fall, and the decision-making here from MIRsfit it's very, very interesting because, of course, it is super, super defense-oriented. They kind of just let their Cypher in the form of Albert just kind of take those fights on his own. They were very much expecting aggressive pushes from Elite Clan, I imagine, because the economy, I mean, if you look at it there, the silhouettes mostly holding Sheriff's classics and such. So there was the expectation that MIRsfit's there did just decide, okay, we'll wait until they push into us. We can take those frags. We can take, we can take fights with both the gun advantage and the man advantage. Instead, it is just Watch Me Fall, who does a very clean first kill with the Sheriff. Doesn't get to pick up the gun, though, which is a big deal. The smokes now fall. Fitch has already pushed through, and the double swing is actually good for a trade either way, but there's still this mid control here. There's still Toronto actually basically just sitting in the defender side spawn, pops the relay bolt to try and get any information. Can't able to kill it down, but with only 12 seconds left, actually, there might have just been enough time killed by Elite Clan to make this work.
Hunter's Fury looking to stop anything as the plant will be going down in the end, unable to finish out the shot to break it. As Armjes is on the flank, will be spotted out, gets the first, Magic gets the Magic gets the kill, able to put him into 1v3 situation. Uncaged, now looking to get something done with a relay bolt in hand. It could be nice, finds the first, head body tap, will connect. As now they have been revealed, location spotted, Magic gets it in, as Maxic lowers themselves to, let's see whether or not the Elite Clan has any way. After the timeout was called last round, they weren't able to really cause too much issues. But as MIRsfit pulls up a 6th round, this really does where it gets volatile. Kizzy puts the operator in their hands. Piloting a weapon like this could be nice, especially in the defensive side if you want to hold main on either site. But it will definitely be difficult.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be really difficult. The ultimates are now kind of getting expended, getting used up. The Hunter's Fury duel from Haint and Toronto there. Haint coming out the victor because I think actually genuinely because Toronto just fired first, and that gave away his positioning. So obviously using it to try and prevent the spike being planted. But it's going to be Kizzy planted in this opener for the round. Fitch does it again onto Toronto, just so confident with this Guardian. The shots have been so crisp, so clean. But from the shadows gets popped by Watch Me Fall a bit. Kind of I was going to say a bit maybe overzealously, but no, the read's been called. It's just very proactive is all. There's still one team member for Elite Clan. Look at how far away they are. Fitch doesn't care. He's able to pick up 3, make it 4. Is he going to be on for the ace? I mean, Fitch definitely able to do it, but to his credit, has not been enough of a kind of overzealous player to maybe rush off and do it on his own. He is kind of proving me wrong, literally, as I speak, but he does at least have the oil drone covering market, making sure that's not an angle that Uncaged is going to be coming from. But Uncaged, he's happy to chill all the way in the A site. He wants no part of this. He's accepted it, and at this point, I'm sure maybe just not wanting to give Fitch that
I'm not
ace.
gonna lie to you, Matt Dante. This round definitely does feel to me like it could be the beginning of the end for the Elite Clan. I mean, it's just rough, right? We saw Kizzy holding the op on B mid, and then from there they weren't really holding the angles that allowed them to kind of be getting peeked from anywhere. But then they decided that they wanted to later on, but they didn't realize that somebody had already pushed up, because why would you when you weren't holding the angle? So at that point, you know, we saw the kill coming in, but even from there on out, there's no real reason that the Elite Clan should be peeking out of a smoke in top mid, right? That it just doesn't make sense. You don't know where your opponent is. Obviously, you saw Fitch at one point, but that location was a strong 4 seconds ago, and then Fitch was just able to collect a double kill. Like, it just looked rough from the Elite Clan. It feels like they're getting way too antsy, and it's something that could possibly become a big issue for the future. And MIRsfit, on the other hand, is playing phenomenally. They still look like a well-oiled machine. They're really good on being explosive on their side executes, and that's something I'd like to see consistently approaching from them. Now, a triple stack towards top mid, Elite Clan could possibly have a read that will be able to give them a round here, but it is just a question of will they be able to make it happen. The Rolling Thunder could possibly disrupt anything happening, but it is still going. Yep, there it is. Goes on through. Finds no stuns. Will be a triple kill, but it's Albert to try and dissuade it. Now it's good for the next. Armake's coming in from the opposite side. Paranoia comes out. A 1v2 situation, trying to get out. Able to do exactly that. 3-piece of utility. Still not going to look to use any. Dry peeks the angle. Won't be able to find much, as 60 bullets still available. Goes for the other side. Looks to try and convert anything. Not able to get anything done just yet, as they get spotted on out. Peeking, swinging, trying to make it happen. Won't be there just yet. The Elite Clan could possibly invest in neural theft. Would be nice to be able to secure the round, but right now it is still going to be the breach. Having 2 flashpoints as well as the aftershock available. The Elite Clan on the opposite side, just holding these angles. Looks for the shots, able to connect. Elite Clan takes their 3rd round.
And the air horn to match it up. Finally, a curse broken. 3 rounds, but look at it. It's 2-1, 2-1, 3-1. That's not really a scoreline you can afford to keep going for much longer. You really need to find your space. You really need to find the time to make this work. And Elite Clan don't have too much of that left. A lot of ults to work with, as we've thankfully for them at least. But literally, well, I was going to say literally, essentially a mirror that MIRsfits have to work with, and the From the Shadows here could be a massive deal from them. We've been watching very good aggression come through, and speaking of good aggression, Fitch run through, but shuts down is the Uncaged. He actually manages to hold his ground and get that frag. I was talking about the mechanics, talking about differences there. That's a huge kill. Overdrive and the main force that MIRsfits have to fight has been down. Maxic, though, jumping between the smokes like a magician. Does go down, though. Toronto still finds him. Uncaged. Overswings! Overswings! Oh, the antsiness that you talked about, Jerry, I think just on full display right there. I did say cherry, but I got panicked.
Well, at this point, MIRsfits is in a 1v2 situation. They invest the neural theft, able to detect the A site, being the end-all location. Still 50 seconds if they want to try and fake the rotate or go for the rotate. Both could work. But yeah, you're not wrong, right? Like, that position alone, there was no possibility for the Sova to trade them, so that Cypher would have.
No.
The Cypher would not have been able to trade them. So if our breach on the side of MIRsfits would have gone for a position over towards A main, they could have taken a 1v1 angle and put it into a 1v1 situation overall. Obviously, that's hindsight 2025. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. MIRsfit, they're playing very good. Unfortunately, that round didn't really go their way. But it is just a situation where you have to be together. And I like this a lot from the Elite Clan. They are both maneuvering over towards CT together. This is going to be able to provide a lot for them. Now, the tripwire connecting, that's a little bit rough, right? You can't be allowing that to happen. Now the location's been revealed. They're able to find the reposition, but they know they can't be in main. Now they have complete awareness, except they could go for the wraparound. That's something you have to be wary of, but it's still just going to be Toronto getting the kill, looking to equal this out with a 4th round on the board. Elite Clan is actually putting up a masterclass performance compared to what we saw in the last series. Or not series, set.
It's certainly so far a bit of a different beast. They're a bit more confident on Sunset, which is surprising. Usually it's Haven that's kind of the close.
Need a drop. Salamat, thanks.
Okay, I don't know what's happened all of a sudden. Maybe Uncaged just decided that this is going to be different, but the mechanics, like the confidence to take these fights, you know, that Uncaged was pretty frequently getting like neon slid in tiles and then getting one-tapped by a Guardian. Now he's just happy to take these engagements. Maxic not playing off of the smoke angle either, instead sacrificing himself to RMAs. Is MIRsfit's potentially starting to crack under this pressure? It's only 2 kills and it's only 1 round that maybe doesn't go their best way, but it's always, well, it's got to start somewhere.
Looking nice as Elite Clan. Gonna be able to pick up another kill. Looking to get this game done and done with for the half as MIRsfit's already put into the brink as a 4-player advantage comes on out. The Elite Clan doing absolute domination on the ending of that half. They were down like 2-6 and brought it back 5-7. Clearly, whatever they talked about in that timeout really skyrocketed the performances.
To have as well, what's always scary about timeouts, or what's different about timeouts, is people sometimes really feel that like if you don't win the round immediately following the timeout, it was wasted. That if you don't immediately kind of adapt, but timeouts can be a lot more than just, okay, we need to win the next round. Timeouts can be, what are we going to be doing long term? What are we expecting? Do we need to focus on this one aspect? Because you could just say win the next round. You could just say, okay, let's use this timeout to just discuss a strat to win the next round. But if that strat doesn't work, you've lost your timeout, you're not getting it back. If that strat just kind of maybe gets countered, then you know your confidence could be shot. He ain't this time taking Uncaged, taking the fight against Uncaged in tiles. Fitch maybe having to delegate, because so far the 1 versus 1 against those two has actually been going the way of Uncaged these last couple rounds.
It does seem as if a V hit will be in the works, possibly looking to pivot over towards A, however, as a lot of players are opting in towards top mid. As we are going to be seeing the Sova, Cypher, both standing towards the B site. Could possibly be able to find something, however, MIRsfit seeming to have a decent read on the position, peeking the angle, finds the first, Albert drops him, Toronto finds their doom, but Fitch is going to be the next to follow up. As look at this paranoia, able to connect, 1, 2, they fall! Fitch drops a triple kill as they take an 8th round.
Gotta go.
I mean, Fitch, I genuinely believe Fitch should not be allowed to buy anything like higher than a Guardian. Outlaw maybe will be fine, but we've seen the shots he can land with a Guardian. The Sheriff as well, it's absolutely, you know, stunning stuff. And I've always been a big believer that like you can't really afford to like have a star player, because if your star player has a bad day, then you know, then you struggle. If you have the star player, that kind of foundational anchor that you rely on for everything, if Fitch has a bad day, that could be a big deal for the MIRsfits. Right now, definitely a lot of performance from the other roster, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, look, we lose Albert, who's the first person on the kill feed immediately beneath him. Of course, it is the man himself, the one that has been holding it down with the Outlaw, now keeping Boba and mark it down as much as possible. The flash comes through. The blind side is not great on its own, but it's enough anyway because he's still able to get the shot. So beautiful stuff and beautiful hold, and Elite Clan need to just keep it going even with this lower buy. The Spectre, oh my days, Maxic off the back of the Spectre spray. Could have just swung it right back, however.
We are going to be seeing a 1v2 situation. Shots go in, find the first, the second, unable to be committed. As that'll give MIRsfit the round for their troubles looking very, very dire, very close. But the Elite Clan unable to conclude it as the fight coming online. MIRsfit will bring it forward, and a 9th round goes. Last time when they won the pistol, they were able to find the bonus as well. We'll see whether or not that will be the same situation. Do they invest up into this? Seeming as if the answer may perhaps be yes, as we do get an Outlaw plus a Vandal coming on through.
You want to get that. You want to get that buy up. You want to kind of fight through. Then this is the way to do it. And the Outlaw not going to find too much value. If you look at the shields there from Elite Clan, I believe 4 members with the full heavy, 1 with the regen shield. So that can be, you know, the difference maker there. Of course, if you're not wearing a heavy shield, then the Outlaw does become an operator with a far scarier and a far faster fire rate. Even if that reload is a bit of a pain. So far, yes, the patience here changed a little bit. We're not seeing anyone kind of swing around. Fitch is happy just to hold this angle onto tiles through it. The smoke pops. Arameges just plays around it perfectly. Doesn't swing too eagerly and give himself away for free. Looks like the aggression is going towards mid with the door being broken, but the spike will need to get picked up after all of this. And while it does look like Watch Me Fall is jumping over to do exactly that, we have seen teams beforehand just forget, be a little bit overzealous, get themselves onto the site, and then look at each other, realizing that there's no one left to plan. And thankfully, that mistake not being made.
We're going to be getting a bit of an engagement coming possibly towards the B site, as there is a lot of players opting up into it. On the opposite side of the map, there is still going to be this Sova, so you don't have that recon dart, you don't have that owl drone in order to be able to hit towards the B. But they have that gate crash setup, as well as that the relay bolt is possessed. But as soon as that happens, they rotate over. Toronto finding the first, and Elite Clan reading nothing, as MIRsfit instantly has the idea. They're reading it like a book and going straight over towards the A site. As Breach takes a shot, the relay bolt comes into action, halting the enemy team for just a little bit. Fitch, Outlaw on hand, unable to make anything happen. Dropping away, TP out, crowded footsteps go on through, but 7 seconds needing to top the spike plant, but unable to do exactly that. Elite Clan down to 3, Paint in a 1v2, unable to make it happen. A 6th round goes for the Elite Clan as they keep this game alive.
It's at least something. I'm very surprised that after Toronto got that frag, I was quite interested to see the rotate come through, because we did see, as you pointed out, how quickly Cherry MIRsfit were decided this. They heard that fight, they seen that it was lost, and they immediately just threw everything down at B site, ran towards A, and you know, Elite Clan really basically ran into them. So it worked out in the end, of course, but always interesting to see those decisions, of course, those micro kind of plays that come to fruition and how the outcome is laid bare for the rest of us. So we'll see how that follows up for the remainder of this half. Cypher Cam hits, just immediately pulled out, of course, and patience towards mid, this kind of respect. The initial kind of 20-30 seconds, nothing happens, and then it's always when mid starts getting controlled, when the market door starts getting broken. I don't mind it, because it is, oh my days, a nearly team kill flash. Holy, that could have been bad. But back to the previous point, it does seem like Elite Clan are playing with the timer to a good effect, but it might be shooting them in the foot if they keep it up at this slow pace.
And now Elite Clan in that decent spot. They're looking to end up towards the A site. Maxic with a paranoia out personally. We'll see whether or not they're going to be having anything. You'd imagine that this play could possibly be able to provide a lot of value. As they hear the owl drone, they get the paranoia out, stopping them in their tracks.
30 seconds
However, that's
left.
only one player. Perhaps a bit of an anti-play, but oh no! Maxic walking straight up into the enemy team! Oh, that's tragic. As now it is going to be up to Fitch in a 1v4 on the site, needing to be able to make perfection. The relay bolt comes in. Do you expect it? Answer no. And you're not allowed to punish, because you got to get the spike down. still, though, 2 players working this. Finds the one, takes the second. As it is still going to be a 3v3. Fitch did a lot to be able to end up in this situation for MIRsfit, but not enough to get the man advantage.
Oh, the back and forth. Okay, yes, oil drone into the aftershock combination there. Actually, Watch Me Fall able to survive. The flash is not great, and the back and forth because of it, but Hayne able to pull out the Vant just in time despite having the bow pulled out for the shock dart there. Manages to get the frag, manages to get the defuse. An excellent, excellent retake, and all off the back. And I hate to bring it up again, you know, I mean, he ain't shooting there, great. But Fitch, killing that time, holding that position for as long as he could, is a pivotal factor as to how MIRsfit were able to get that retake. I also want to kind of correct myself, just a statement I did say in the last round very quick. It's maybe actually working for Elite Clan that they are playing these timers right down, because it does seem like MIRsfit are getting a bit antsy, they are getting a bit jittery, trying to make sure that Elite Clan don't get any presence, which is actually, ironically, allowing them to gain quite a bit. We'll continue to see if this really slow aggression comes through. No, it doesn't look like it at all. Dimensional Drift is out. The map control's already been gained. But from the shadows from both teams, everyone trying to get as much control as possible. The Bucky play has survived at least somewhat. Maxic not dead just yet somehow, and could easily find a kill because of it. He does! Finds his third, and Maxic finds his second, and it's Maxic and Hayne with a duo ace between them. I asked about a fast attack from Elite Clan, and that's what happens when they do
rough,
it,
right? It was just a phenomenal raid from MIRsfit, where you look towards Haint, who was able to find 2 just at the start of the engagement. Once that fight was facilitated onto the B site, it was instantaneously broken up by Haint, and then the follow-up came through from Maxic, completely obliterating any chances. Elite Clan unable to force out many ults, only Maxic dropping the horse from the shadows, and now the Elite Clan having to just butt their heads against the wall. The fault line, Fitch, an absolute nightmare. Toronto can't explain it, and they can't get anything done. It's going to be another push up towards top mid. It's worked for them in the past, but splashing through, spraying through the smoke. It's the breach of MIRsfit to drop them down, looking to force match point here tonight.
Gotta go.
And while Watch Me Fall is alive, he only has that low amount of HP, which yes can be a factor, but it's 2 members with very low HP. That's the big deal right now. Kizzy as well doesn't really have the health to kind of tank any sort of shot right now, so it's very much down to if these shots land at all. It's a beautiful hold, beautiful patience here from the breach, just making sure that he doesn't want to give any space and that can regress onto the site as soon as Elite Clan tap the bomb, because they believe they've got control here. They believe they're getting space, but this is essentially a Venus flytrap here. 2 members in B main, 1 up towards Market and the defense side spawn. Look at where Elite are. They are going to be struggling to get this. They've dropped the spike to each other, but that's only a call to action for the MIRsfits here. They're trying to get themselves back on the site. That's 1, not 2 just yet, RMH. But he ain't playing so perfectly patiently.
Good, as now we are going to be seeing Haint right above the box. Can they get something done? We'll have to wait and see, as this Cypher are able to go big. 1, 2, 3. They drop them all like flies. As now it's all up to the Omen, looking like Maxic has something happening, but it won't be just yet. A 7th round, the Elite Clan keeps it competitive.
That was a master class of trigger discipline, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we see a little bit of information additional being given. Sometimes we see an additional kill at times. But that, RMA knowing he's not going to get cleared because his teammate died and he didn't swing. So that meaning MIRsfit's believing that yes, the neural theft has been used, but he's rotated back onto the B site, or at least tried to get himself away, you know, back towards his team. Of course, we knew that wasn't the case, but that's the assumption that was made from the play, and of course the read wasn't just right. And look at the read, that it's going to be a very patient attack, and the defending side, they're not wanting to wait. They don't want to deal with a patient attack. We will be the attack if so needed. And now the back and forth, the Hunter's Fury comes through uncaged, already knocked down to half HP before he can even see anything, and it's a bait! He is used as nothing more than bait with the Hunter's Fury, so the breach can back him up. The flash goes through, but Kizzy doesn't care. Able to just 360 to dodge the flash and pick up a double. Albert now in a 1 versus 1. It's a fake TP. Has Albert been caught out? No, he has not. A clean adjustment for the final shot of the Guardian. 1 and done. And MIRsfit's only 1 round away from sealing the deal and going to the grand finals.
It's certainly looking very, very good right now, as they're going to be calling a timeout over at the Elite Clan, and the economy certainly not good. The mental, you'd imagine, could not be much better, as they're on series point in the semi-finals of their qualifier. I mean, this is the qualifier to the qualifier to the qualifier, so there's really a lot that has to be getting done, and it seems like they might be bowing out here.
Russian nesting qualifier is what we are right now. You pick up one of the... It's those nesting dolls for anyone that does. You can open one up and there's another one inside. You open one up and there's another one inside. And you do that about 5 times. It's a Russian nesting qualifier. But yeah, this is pivotal. This time it has to work for Elite Clan. And it did last time, to be fair. To an extent, they were able to take those kind of, those couple of rounds off the back of it, those 3 rounds that you do see. So maybe they're able to do it, but that took a little bit longer for them. They didn't start to kind of come back around immediately after the timeout. It did take a round or 2. They don't have that time to play with anymore. It has to be now. It's do or die. It is try and get to map 3, 5 rounds back to back just for overtime, or say goodbye to the EVC East Open qualifier and watch MIRsfit walk their way into the grand finals. And with the economy here, 2 sheriffs and a stinger, Elite Clan, no ultimates either. Everything is against them.
Elite Clan gonna be going for a very aggressive mid push. This has worked for them consistently. This repetition of pushing top mid has gone unpunished. But we do see the fault line able to drop them a little bit back. The decoy is still alive. Gonna be punished and look towards where they're facilitating the engagement, right? They're forcing them down into B. The Sova on the other side, Haint, is going to be able to connect 1, but off of that, shot to the head goes in for Haint. Now it's a 4v4 in this situation. Not looking good. There is a flank from the Omen of MIRsfit. Is now... Engagement does seem to be sooner rather than later. The flashpoint comes 1 for 1. Elite Kizzy drops Albert, but Toronto finds its death in exchange. Maxic peeks over, but the high-low takes them down. The fast lane's available for Fitch. Goats gets them out onto the site, but it's a 2v3. Not looking easy. The first goes down. Headshot through the wall. Armitage is looking for the second, unable to make it happen. Watch me fall, picking out. Double swing, takes it down as the Elite Clan stays alive.
And that is what we love about an underdog story, ladies and gentlemen. I did say everything was against Elite Clan for that round, and that round specifically, and they still made it work. There's a fair, ultimates for MIRsfits as well. They're not going to be online for a little bit, so Elite Clan can do some work here. If they get this round, then they move on, obviously, to get the 10th, which will be MIRsfits' struggling economy. They're actually opting to kind of go for the weaker buy this round, give themselves a stronger one for next, which I do like. It means they'll have the ultimates online, or the very strong ultimates online, I should say, things like the Rolling Thunder, alongside the stronger economy. So I appreciate that Fitch is just kind of playing this as if he doesn't really care. You're not expecting anyone to show up that close, that fast, on a lower buy as well. But still, the patience is there. The attempted flash out of the smoke on me and doesn't find anyone. Haint as well. And that could be very much it. Yes, you get the reload in the Guardian. Yes, Albert is there. He's popped the neural theft, despite the fact he does have the information on Ara, but does he know he's got the most important piece of information, which is the spike right down in mid on the left of him? He's just standing. He doesn't care if he gets scanned. He knows where Ara is. He sees he's got the spike there now. A 1 versus 1 for the ages here. Who sees each other first? The Cypher Cam's not going to bail you out of this one, Albert. It just has to be a clean 1 versus 1 at this stage. The rotates are coming through, but he has... looking to maybe give a bit too much space for the spike here. Ara's got his way to tiles, and that timing could be pivotal. That timing, in fact, could seal the deal and bring us on to another round. Yes, in fact, it will.
It's looking phenomenal as Elite Clan mounting a comeback as the economy now for the MIRsfits roster unable to be too heavily impacted. We do look towards the ultimate chargers. The Rolling Thunder 1 away could be the tool to get them on a retake situation that will be able to work. So far, they've been butting their heads, putting retakes into action. In the last 2 rounds, it's been a little bit rough, right? This game has been close for the most part. And probably Glenn, they just need to be able to keep it up, right? They need to be able to bring themselves to a map 3, go over to split. If they can make that happen, they could be able to find success. But as Fitch goes for another aggressive set play, the paranoia comes in response, as well as that the aftershock is going to be able to limit the pressure. Now, as we see the Hunter's Fury coming on in, will barely be able to sidestep it. Fitch now going to go back on the aggressive angle as they want to try and make something happen. Could be enough. Finds the first. As now they back up. Maxic takes a second, having the bait for the breach as they TP outwards. They want to peek again so that the breach will not be seen. Keeps it going, keeps it alive. A 2v4 situation. Maxic picks up another. They fall in response. Watch me fall. Shadows available, but the shadows not enough. Your grand finalists, MIRsfit, find their way on up.
Very, very comfortably done. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, grand final spot secured for the MIRsfits. And I believe, I might need to get this checked up, but I believe that means they are now guaranteed a spot in the East qualifier. And I believe the other team that will be joining them in the East qualifier for the grand final will be doing the same as well. It will then just be a fight for the slot as to where they go, how the seeding then gets worked out. So I don't think... Oh, no. We are currently at 1-1 for Roka Heat and Samogeni, so we're not currently sure where that is laying right now. Of course, it is 2-0 for the MIRsfits. So once we get that worked out, once we find out who that is, that'll be our grand finalists. Commiserations to Elite Clan, very nicely attempted, but I do just want to say that it is sometimes clear when your opponents are just a bit more comfortable in terms of both mechanics and team play. And I think we had seen that there.
A phenomenally well done job by the MIRsfits roster to qualify up to play in the VCL qualifier in probably a week or two. Not totally sure when that would be happening, but a phenomenal team coming on through, and that will get everything done. I mean, you know, Mad Dante Killer, this has been so much fun. I've enjoyed it so much. I think is it time to go to a break though? What are you thinking?
I believe
I'm
it
so
is. I
sad.
believe
You're
it is.
gone. It's
It
tragic.
is. Well, that's the thing, yes. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen, I shall be jumping off this time. Puffo Bob has expressed his interest. And of course, if Cherry, you're still vibing with it, that means it will be myself stepping out. But it has been a phenomenal blast, Cherry. Thank you so much for having, for being on the desk with myself. It is always an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much to the production for letting me get on this as well. So yeah, when I'm back, or when I'm jumped off, it'll be Puffo Bob returning with you guys for the grand final after this short little break. It might be a little bit longer, actually, because if the other semi-finals has went to the full third map, then we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But for the meantime, we'll be back as soon as we're able. Don't go anywhere.